Hey, just Jay here, and it's day 153 of the Bearded Bray Space. I absolutely love radio-controlled flying things, and especially these little micro mini drones. I have a ton of them because they're super cheap. While I do fly an Inspire one and I've flown Phantoms and a bunch of other quadcopters, I've found that these ones are by far the most fun to fly. They're also probably the hardest ones to fly. The bigger ones, super easy. The bigger ones actually have way more brain power and can stay hovering in the air locked on GPS, whereas these ones, you gotta be on the control sticks the whole time to make sure that they're going where you want them to go. Plus, you crash one of these and they hardly ever break, and if they do break, it's really cheap to swap out a propeller or just go buy a new one. I love them because I can practice really aggressive flight techniques without the worry of crashing my bigger ones. This little hexacopter is by far my favorite to be flying around aggressively. It's really fast and nimble. And while I've gotten really good at flying this around, I wanted to turn it into more of a game and have more of a challenge. That's where I've seen some of the drone races, where they have these boxes with LEDs around them that you have to fly through the whole course. I decided I could probably make my own for really cheap. So that's what I'm going to show you today, how to make these LED hoop rings for mini quadcopter races. Okay, so here's everything you're going to need for this project. First off, I wanted to get a hoop of some sort. I looked online and all of the LED hoops were in the $40 to $100 range, and that was just ridiculously expensive for what I wanted to do. I'm sure you could go to a hardware store and buy some tubing, but I just found these at the dollar store. They have a bunch of different sizes. This is the largest size they have. So I picked up about 5 of these. I also have some 3/4 inch PVC that was just laying around, so I cut that into about a 3-4 inch length. And then at the hardware store I got this nylon hose barb, which fits perfectly inside this tube and gives us a T-joint where the PVC can connect and slide over the top of a light stand, or you can connect it to more PVC, whatever stand you decide to put it on. Then I've got some gray gaff tape to attach everything together. I would recommend just using duct tape. It's a lot cheaper, but I don't have any on hand, so I'm using the gray gaff tape. And last I have the LEDs. Now, the packaging on this says 15 micro LED string lights, 2 sets included. So this comes with 2 sets of LED lights with batteries and everything to make it work. I bought these on Amazon. They come in a bunch of different colors. They have red, green, blue, purple, white, a warm white. I will say I was very disappointed with how bright the red lights were. So don't get the red version. These pink purple ones and the green ones and the blue ones are probably the brightest. So first thing we need to do is remove all the wrapping off of the hula hoop. So just go ahead and cut that, and then this should just come off pretty easy. I suppose if you don't want it lit up, you can keep this on and have it be all sparkly. But I wanted mine to glow under black light, which this tube does, and also have the LEDs inside. Inside the hula hoop, you'll find that there are a few rocks. So get the rocks out. Next, you'll take a knife and cut a notch in here. And then I'm going to drill out a little bit of a hole. So basically you have a line with a little hole at the top of it. Now I'm going to take my LEDs with the batteries in it, unwind your LEDs, and then thread them through the hula hoop. You may find it easier to thread through the hula hoop if you straighten out the hula hoop and hold it on end and drop it down and let gravity help you thread it through. So once that's through, you can see it doesn't go around the whole thing. So you can either cut this shorter and make a smaller hoop, or leave it large and just not care that part of it isn't lit up. Since I already have some smaller ones, I'm just going to not care that it's not lit up the whole way around. Now, on this end where I cut that notch, I'm going to take the last little bit of the wire, slide it up the notch, and then out through that hole. Now you take this T-joint and you put it in that hole and plug it up. The reason why we wanted to cut that line and thread it through the hole is so that this cable doesn't get pinched off and broken by the barb here. So now with this gaff tape, you just slide it around, try to close it off as much as possible. That way it has a nice tight fit on there. Then take the other end and press that in there. Now that is a pretty tight fit, so I'm going to use a little bit more tape and just make sure that that stays on nice and tight. So tape it all the way around. And now that should hold on there really good. The idea is that when it's standing up, you don't want it rotating back and forth and falling over. Now we've got to figure out a way to get this onto here. The easiest thing that I have found is to just add some tape onto this and some padding, bulk it up, and then just slide it right on there. So I don't waste a ton of tape bulking it up. I'm going to use a little piece of foam, stick it on there, and then tape around here and wrap that up. Every once in a while, check to see how the fit is. Okay, so now that makes a nice snug fit on there. Well, that's probably not going to go anywhere. I'm going to use some more tape and just secure it up. I'm taking thick strips and ripping off thinner strips like this because I want to be weaving this around it, kind of in a crisscross pattern. This isn't just to make sure that this holds onto the hoop, but that the hoop doesn't rotate as it's on the stand. Once you have that all secure on there, that's it. You have an on-off switch that just kind of hangs down there by the side of it. Doesn't really get in the way. I suppose if you want, you could tape it to the mount here, and then it turns on and off and you have your lights going. So this is a super simple, cheap project to make flying the mini quadcopters way more fun. You can set up a bunch of these hoops around and then race through them, maybe put numbers on each of them that you have to go through in a certain order. Maybe there's a point system where you have 1 minute to see how many of these hoops that you could fly through. Smaller hoops are worth more points, bigger hoops are worth less points. But really all I had to do was buy a $1 hula hoop and spend a couple bucks for these LEDs on Amazon. It came in a 2-pack. I think you could get them in 6 packs and 10 packs, and the price goes down even more. You see, this one I cut down smaller. That way the LEDs pretty much go all the way around, whereas this larger one, I really would have needed more like a 4 or 5 foot strand of LEDs to get the whole thing lit up. They sit here on a light stand, super easy, and you can raise and lower it. I've been thinking about maybe figuring out a way to motorize it so that this spins in a circle, making it more like a putt-putt golf course. I'm happy with them. They glow in black light, so you can make it more of a futuristic Tron experience in flying around your mini quadcopters. Anyway, as always, hope this wasn't horrible.